Welcome to immigrationquestion.com, your go-to resource for U.S. immigration insights. We provide clear immigration news and information. Our platform provides a network of licensed attorneys who can answer your questions and guide you through the process. From visas to green cards, asylums to citizenships, immigrationquestion.com helps you to network with immigration attorneys so that you can move forward with confidence. Sign up today or download the app. Free registration, limited time offer. Stay tuned. We go live in 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar hosted by immigrationquestion.com, a networking platform where immigrants, families, advocates, and licensed immigration attorneys come together to learn more about U.S. immigration policies and procedures. My name is GB Satusa, and I'll be your host for today's important discussion: securing your future in the U.S., removing conditions on permanent residence, and humanitarian immigration pathways. Now, conditional permanent residence is a vital stage for certain green card holders, but it comes with additional requirements before permanent status can be secured. At the same time, humanitarian forms of immigration relief keep providing opportunities for eligible individuals facing circumstances that fall outside family or employment based immigration. To help us explore today's topic, we are honored to be joined by attorney Alexis Estrada, whose practice focuses on humanitarian and family based immigration. He represents clients before USCIS and the Executive Office for Immigration Review while overseeing immigration attorneys and support staff. With extensive experience in asylum, U visas, VAWA, adjustment of status, waivers, and removal defense. Attorney Estrada, thank you so much for joining us today. We're delighted to have you with us.
Thank you so much. How are you? How's everybody? Again, my name is Attorney Estrada. I have been practicing immigration law for almost 8 years now. Um, I have had practice before the courts as well as USCIS. Don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself someone who is ready to offer help and advise. That's what my position is. I have guided and advised uh, the weakest of claims to success.
Thank you so much, Attorney. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. Before we begin, of course, it's important to remind our audience that immigrationquestion.com is a public, educational, and networking platform. The information shared today is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute individualized legal advice. If you are, of course, joining us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or any other platform, welcome. Please subscribe and share this session with anyone who may benefit from learning more about removing conditions on permanent residence and humanitarian immigration options. Let's dive right in. Attorney Estrada, what does it mean to have conditional permanent residence status?
It means that you are someone who was just married to a United States citizen, right? Somebody that's already had status in the United States for many years, either born or has naturalized, right? And now this person has said, "Hey, I'm going to get. Oh my God, I just met this person. It's this spouse, and I just want them to also have status with me." Um, However, because you married them so soon, for example, I said that the marriage would happen between a year and a half.
Yeah.
uh, you have the issue where it's that USCIS doesn't believe that this is an actual marriage. They will think that this is a scam marriage. No, it's not, because nobody can define love. Who can define love? Can you define love? No, we cannot define love. So USCIS will think that because this marriage is so recent, so soon, that you must be entitled to a temporary um, green card, which is called the conditional, which means after 2 years you have to go back to United States USCIS and you have to tell them, "Hey, we've been together even more time now. Um, please interview us. Please let us know that we are still together. That is what it means to be having a conditional green card.
All right.
Basically, USCIS is calling you a liar, calling people a liar instead of accepting the relationship the way that it's supposed to be, love.
All right. Now, Tony, what types of evidence does USCIS typically look for when reviewing a petition to remove conditions?
What they're looking for is something they call bona fides,
Okay.
which are something that shows that they have been married or that it's an actual relationship. For example, are
Mm,
you sharing a home? Are you sharing a lease? Are you sharing credit cards? Are you filing tax returns together? Those are the kinds of things that USA is looking for. They're trying to make sure that, hey, you are not seeking a benefit outside of United States USCIS in order to obtain a benefit, which is would be the green card eventually.
all right.
So that's what they're looking for. They're just trying to make sure that you guys still remain together. However, there are exceptions to this, and it's something we may touch going forward.
All right. Now, what mistakes do applicants frequently make when preparing their Form I-751 petition?
A lot of the mistakes would be they won't show that the marriage is bona fide. They won't show
Mm,
that um, the marriage is legitimate. You know,
yeah.
what USCIS is just trying to prove is that you guys are married for real. Love. Hey, I love you. You love me. We've been together. Things like that. Where did we meet? Where were we? How did you propose? How did you do this for me? Things
Mm,
like that. But if we live together, who wakes up on the side of the bed? Do you wake up on the left? Do you wake on the right? But if you can't show that to USCIS, where would you be?
mm,
In a place where you would have to be denied
yeah.
because they don't show, hey, they don't even know each other. They want to
Yeah.
make sure that even if there is a age difference, a gap difference, they just want to make sure, hey, where is the love?
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, for individuals who may not qualify through family or employment based immigration, what humanitarian immigration options may be available?
Humanitarian is a big, big, big thing, and it's something that you really don't want to you don't really don't want to like talk to clients about. For example, number one, you have U visa. A
Mm,
person has been a victim of domestic violence. You know, a person with no stat, even if the person that has caused them the damage is of no status. However, you are cooperating with the law. You are cooperating with the police officer. You're with the law enforcement. You are showing up to your court hearings. That's called a U visa, which is that you are cooperating with law, and it's a qualifying crime that will actually backtrack a little bit into what a U visa is. Right?
yeah.
A U visa is obviously not it's not a way a green card. It's not
Mm,
that, oh my god, no. Basically, USCIS is trying to make sure that you are cooperating with the law enforcement. For example, are you the victim of some sort of crime? Again, I always lean towards U visas,
yeah.
right? Excuse me, domestic violence kind of sort of situations. Are
Mm,
you the victim of somebody that's been just like constantly been attacked by your partner, and finally you just decided, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and call the police and I'm gonna make a report. That really would lead you, and it categorically qualifies you to a U visa, which is a protective status. And there's many different laws, and there are many different categories that will qualify you: stalking, kidnapping, sexual assault. And it doesn't mean that you are just someone that it happens to. It depends on who it happened to as well. For example, do you have a minor child? Are you someone that the minor child, a family member of the minor child, who was, caused that damage and things? And it's super private. It's super, I know a lot of times people don't believe. It's a pathway. It's a hard topic to touch on, and I would really just like to just let everybody know it is a hard topic to touch on, and sometimes that one qualifying crime or that one qualifying issue is something that you guys that as a family as a whole can move forward with a benefit with
Yeah.
immigration.
Yeah. Now, what types of evidence tend to strengthen humanitarian immigration applications?
It depends. It depends. What kind of humanitarian applications are you talking about? Oh, excuse me. What would you be talking about? I'm so sorry.
Well,
Would it be, for example, a VAWA application? Would it be a U
the
visa
VAWA,
application?
U visas.
VAWA's our is something that obviously you guys know. It's everybody sticks to what is a abusive spouse, whether
Mm,
it be a legal permanent resident, whether it be a United States citizen. You just want to make sure that that there's that evidence. Like, a lot of the times people love is very blind, and you want to sort of think like, oh my god, the damage that this person caused me, it's love. It's not love. It's not
mm,
love by any means.
mm,
It's harm. It's harm that they're causing you guys. It's harm that's causing the people.
mm,
And sometimes what matters might be that they are a United States citizen versus a um legal permanent resident. It that may change when it comes to applying for any sort of benefits. But the damage is always there. VAWA, what it is that you're married, you've been married, you haven't divorced within those 2 years,
mm,
and that you have evidence. You don't want to go to United States Immigration Services with no evidence.
yeah.
You want to make sure that you have something, whether it be a witness letter, whether it be a friend letter, whether it be a psychological report, psychiatrist report, anything.
Mm,
Are you taking medicine because you guys are sad? Things like that. Like, you
yeah.
guys have to make sure that you have the proof that's there.
Yeah.
It's not a heavy burden by any means. There's not even a need to prove that you guys are excuse me, that the abuser is a citizen or a resident. There's no need to prove that at all. By any means is there not.
Mm,
You have to just prove that you've been abused
yeah. Yeah.
and that the relationship, and this is the most important, that
Yeah.
the relationship existed.
Exists.
For example, spouse to spouse, things like that. If you
Yeah.
can prove that, you're fine. And you
Mhm.
can use a proof like a marriage certificate here in the United States. You know,
Okay.
things of that nature.
Now, attorney, what practical advice would you give applicants about successfully removing conditions on permanent residence while avoiding common pitfalls?
Okay, so that's a great question because, again, it comes to we have to circle back into the abusive spouse, right?
Yeah.
Or the suspected fraudulent marriage, as
Marriage.
they
Yeah.
say. So USCIS, they want to make sure that within that time that your marriage within those 2 years is legitimate, right? They want to call
Yeah.
you back into their offices. They want to make sure, hey, yes, during your first interview, we believed that you were married, right? Hey, you guys are married. However, come back. Maybe there was a little doubt there, here and there. Come back. Let's make sure that you guys are still together afterwards.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Because why? Because relationships change. People
Mm,
argue. People disagree. People don't want to be together anymore. Maybe there's jealousy in the future, right? So when you come to that situation, and if you, let's say, contract the right attorney, the right kind of person, um, what you want to tell them and you want to explain to them is like, all right, you're telling me now that you have a jealous spouse, a spouse that's like does is telling you, I'm not going to join you in this upcoming interview. That's abuse. That's abuse. But we have to record that abuse in order to
mm,
present ourselves to an officer in USCIS, because we're not going to go to the officer and just be like, hey, this man told me all this stuff, or hey, this woman told me all this kind of stuff, or things like that. No.
mm,
Why would you show up like that? No. We want to remove these conditions, and we want to remove them the best way we can. And by removing, I would mention something called a battered spouse waiver.
Okay.
And there's other waivers to get out of it. For example, did your spouse pass away? Did you guys divorce amicably? Did you guys say, hey, we're together? What? But the big thing is that battered spouse. A lot of the times, spouses, doesn't matter if, and this is the big deal. It doesn't matter if it's a female, male. A lot of the times, that whole, hey, you are undocumented, I control you sort of
Yeah.
picture comes in. And you don't want to deal with that. No.
Yeah.
And they'll threaten you and they'll say, oh, you have an immigration interview coming up, right? I'm not going to show up. And they're going to deny you. You want to make sure, if that person is telling you or threatening you want to make sure that you are prepared for your interview going forward. Hey, my spouse has told me that is jealous, is threatening me, and now I'm here by myself in my interview. I want to qualify for something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these kind of things are what you want to not just not avoid. Obviously, not avoid. Obviously, if you guys are together, be together. But you don't want to go to an interview by yourself, not at all,
Mm.
especially with these offers nowadays. So if there's an exception that you can categorize by, speak to an attorney, prepare the documentation, put put the evidence of the abuse, but everything that you guys think, whether it be like either a text message, a phone call, a voicemail, you can transcribe, put it together, put it
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and then show the officer, hey, officer, I'm here by myself. Off, and then the officer, why are you here by yourself? Well, because my ex-spouse is threatening me not to be here, even though we're having our issues, whatever it is. No,
Mm.
it's not going to work like that. You have to
Yeah.
have the evidence, psychological, anything like that. And I just wanted, like I said, and that's very humanitarian. You just,
Mm.
it's, sometimes us as men are not the kindest. We're not the nicest. We're not very understanding. It's not 100% us. It's that certain population. So I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that as females, you guys are protected.
Yeah. Thank you so much for those insights, attorney. Truly an informative session up to so far. Now, for everyone watching, today's discussion has highlighted important parts in US immigration and how they determine immigrants' future in the United States. Whether someone is seeking to remove the conditions on permanent residence or pursuing humanitarian relief, careful preparation and a well supported application remains essential, as the attorney has pointed out. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. ImmigrationQuestion.com is a networking platform where users can ask immigration related questions at no cost and engage with participating attorneys. We are also proud to share that ImmigrationQuestion.com is Triple B accredited and ISO certified, reflecting our commitment to transparency, accountability, community education, and security. Now, Attorney Estrada, based on your experience, how does ImmigrationQuestion.com help immigrants and immigration attorneys like yourself?
Connection. That's
Yeah,
the word. Connection.
yeah,
Everybody has to be connected.
yeah,
Why? Because it's a limited sort of community. You think that anybody wants to talk about, hey, I don't have documents. Let me go talk to this random person. No, it's connection,
yeah,
it's secrecy, it's confidentiality. It's us being into a community that we understand exactly the journey that every other person is going through. It's
yeah,
not, hey, hey, I have a question. Let me ask you. No, exclusivity.
yeah,
You can't just be like, oh my God, I'm gonna go talk to this random person. I'm gonna go talk to the person who is giving me the cheapest price. No, no. You just want to make sure that the person that you're speaking with, the person that you are asking advice, questions for, the person that you are asking for guidance is somebody that understands, that knows what they're doing, that can actually give you, hey, this is the next step, and I'm not just here to second guess what anybody else's work is. You know,
yeah,
just,
yeah,
you have to be it's confidence here, and the confidence is knowledge. Knowledge
Mhm.
is you read and you understand, and you participate in these kind of things.
Thank you so much for those thoughts, Attorney. Before we move into our live Q&A, let's tackle this important question. What is a common misconception about removing conditions on permanent residence that applicants should clarify before filing?
100%. Um, so there's been this whole dispute and all kind of stuff, that and this is not anybody else's issue. This is USCIS's issue. You're supposed to marry within like those 2 years that you do, of and apply for the green card. When you do, a lot of the times, certain applicants will submit an I-90, which is no, excuse me, not an I-751, which
Yeah.
is a remove of conditions. Meanwhile, instead of submitting that, they were supposed to only do a renewal, saying basically, "Hey, I married within those 2 years that you had asked me. Now you're asking me to renew it." It's not that. There's so many misconceptions when it comes to the renewal of the cards. That and making sure that you do it within, it's nuance, time framed.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
mhm,
All right. If you're just joining us, we've been speaking with immigration attorney Alexis Estrada on securing your future in the US, removing conditions on permanent residence, and humanitarian immigration pathways. We're now moving into our live Q&A. This is your opportunity to ask general questions and hear educational insight from a licensed immigration attorney. Please drop those
correct.
questions in the chat or call us live at 516-703-3483, and we'll take as many questions as time permits. All right. Luz Luz Elena is asking, I
Hmm.
keep hearing about asylum, TPS, VAWA, and U visas. What's the difference? And how do I know which one I might qualify for?
Can you repeat the question again?
I keep hearing about asylum, TPS, VAWA, and U visas. What's the difference? And how
Big
do I know
difference.
which one
Big
I might
difference. All
qualify
it
for?
is timing, timing, timing. Did you just get here for asylum? Did you just get here into the country yesterday, or I would say a day before, a year before the other day? That's asylum. You want to make sure that you apply a year before, and if you apply a year after, you have to have a good reason to why you want to go ahead and reapply. You know, even if you came in with a visitor visa, with any sort of visa that and you've never been in any sort of like trouble with ICE or CBP or anything like that, you just want to make sure that you submit that application within a year. That's number one. That's asylum. TPS is always country designated. Depends on where she's from. Where are you from? Right now, TPS is I would say, a closed door. I wouldn't do anything else. Leave that alone. U visa is still remain is U visa is just like, are you a person who has been a victim of a crime? That's
Okay.
the big thing. Have you been stalked? Have you been hurt? Have you been a victim of domestic violence? Have you been assaulted? And nobody wants to say the word. Have you been assaulted sexually? Things like that. Have you been robbed? Have you been strong armed? um, these are the things that can get qualified. That a certifying agency can go ahead and make sure that they give you a certification. They're not going to give it to you. Oh man, I was in a parking ticket, this and that, or I was pushed, and now I have this. No, it's got to go to that level. Your visas are
Mhm.
very strong, very, very strong, as long as you cooperate. And the issue there is domestic violence. Domestic violence, you know why? Because a lot of the people that report these domestic violence, a lot of the time, and I don't want to talk about any victims, because I like to make sure that I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, is that um, a lot of the times the victims go back to the abuser. Why? because they are being, it's not extorted, but they don't have the money to go back to, regular life. They can't
Yeah.
just leave this person.
Yeah.
They share children, they share a family together.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying, hey, oh man, this happened to me, and now I'm gonna go ahead and live on my own. They're
Mm.
not gonna do it. You know why? Again, the means. They're
Yeah.
not gonna live in the streets. They're not gonna live in the shelter. They're not gonna. They just want to make sure that they're taken care of, and that's the issue. However, there are that limited number of domestic violence victims that actually do escape and do benefit from those kind of U visas. People
Yeah.
that are stalked constantly by their past partners. You know, and stalking is it's crazy, and you just think like, hey, this person is following me, and sometimes it's difficult for a certifying agency to say, oh yeah, this is stalking. No, they'll brush it off as like, hey, this is a partner just trying to get back with their partner. No, it's like this is a person following your everyday life and just like, hey, where are you? I'm at work. Okay, I see you. That's not a relationship.
Mm.
That's somebody stalking you. That's somebody following your everyday moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not right. So, U visas will always be the strongest form or the strongest way. You are cooperating with the government. You are making sure that you are present during any sort of hearing, that you have been through any sort of disposition with the person, that you make yourself available during any sort of investigation. There are words, there are crimes that I'm not going to mention because I know it's triggering, and I know that whoever's listening, it's not. I don't want anybody to like feel triggered. But
Yeah.
there's things that it happens to that they think, oh, it might not qualify. It does. Call the police. Call the police.
Mm.
Whether you're male, you're female, call the police.
Yeah.
Make sure you make a report. See who's listening to you.
Yeah. All
Mhm.
right. Mirembe is asking, my husband is violent. I want to leave the marriage, but I have a conditional green card. What can I do if I still want to stay in America?
That's a very good question, and that's great. Not actually, it's not great because of obviously there's this whole situation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's something called a battered, and I want you guys to listen. Battered spouse exception, battered spouse waiver. As long as you can demonstrate that you have been a better spouse. He's violent. Do you have evidence that he's hurt you? Do you have evidence that he's threatened that he's not going to show up to any sort of more immigration? Or do you have evidence that he's just been, text messages, whatever it is? Have you gone to the police? Do you have restraining orders? Anything like that. You can file your removal conditions without this person being present at all and going to these interviews and just making sure that they listen and then they hear it out.
Yeah.
It's not, and by just by themselves saying, "Hey, I'm not going to show up with you," that's a form of abuse. So you have to make a record of it. And I always tell everybody, make a record of it. I understand this world is a little weird, and I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. Hey, if somebody's making a threat towards you, record it, record it, record it. Because, and I'm not just saying, oh, I'm not gonna cook and clean for you. No, 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 that's silly. But if somebody's saying, hey, I'm not going to attend an important immigration interview with you, or I'm not, or I'm going to report you to ICE and say, hey, if your conditional green card expires, I'm going to call ICE on you and tell them to come pick you up. That's a form of abuse. I want everybody to
Yeah.
understand that. I don't want anybody to think that that's not a form of abuse. I want
Yeah.
everybody to understand that that is abuse, and it's something that would qualify you for a removal of conditions based on a battered spouse exception, as long as you prove that you guys are married, the marriage was entered into a bond, and like by all means, good faith. You guys
Yeah.
have proof that you guys are together, remain together, things like that. However, the person ended up changing their whole perspective at the end of the day.
Yeah. All right. Jason is asking, will I need to submit documents that show my marriage is real to resolve my conditional green card?
Yes, yes, every single time. Because
Okay.
if not, the question why you guys entered into the marriage in the first place, you
Okay.
have to show. For example, I'll give you a big example. Why would you marry somebody and then live in one place and then the other person lives in another place?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have to show documents that you guys are together. You know, are you filing taxes together? Do you have a lease together? Do you have number one, and this is the big thing? Do you have kids together? That's the thing. I mean, when you have the things like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you to everyone who joined us for today's webinar, and thank you, Attorney Estrada, for sharing your knowledge and practical guidance with us today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me today.
It's an honor. You can always visit immigrationquestion.com to ask immigration related questions, stay updated on policy updates, and register for upcoming live events. If you missed any part of today's discussion with Attorney Estrada, the replay will be available on Spotify soon. Just search Borderless Talk by immigrationquestion.com. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday at our next live session. Until then, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay connected. Bye bye.
Thank you.